Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Armchair Pundits. As usual, we've got myself, James, we've got Leon, we've got Daryl. How you guys doing?
Yeah, all good.
All good, bro. Thank you.
So, we'll start off with Tottenham, as you were both there. Good result, happy. Obviously, scoring 6 goals, no one can ever complain. But Son being dropped, then banging a hattie. So happy days all around, I guess. Or do you have some complaints?
Yeah. Trust me, we
Let's
both have
just say,
complaints.
yeah, there's complaint. It's complaints, but in a good way, in a sense that we still haven't really found our footing. We haven't really had one complete 90 minutes of football yet. We started off pretty poor, to be honest with you. Both teams were giving the ball away quite cheaply. And you saw from the start, obviously, players were diving into tackles, i.e. Perisic and Sanchez ended up giving away a penalty because of it. But as you said, 6 goals, you can't complain. Son coming on and changing the game in terms of giving us that impetus going forward on a counter-attack. But you have to give credit where credit's due. We responded after half-time to Conte's, probably a big the hairdryer treatment probably,
Yeah,
and
probably a rollicking in that change room.
Yeah, so second half they came out and performed. So have to give credit where credit's due. Got the result, and we keep it moving.
Yeah, I know Leon says on a positive note, and he does say that we haven't hit a full 90 minutes yet. But how many times are we going to say that this season right now? Like, starting to get a little bit of a thing within the fan base of some of the style of football that we're playing. So the second half was a lot better. The first half was shambolic from the start. Personally, I don't understand some of the selection choices. I think some players paid the price for the Europa League, Champions League. I want to talk about Europa League.
It's past that now, bro.
Yeah, getting mixed up.
You're not Arsenal,
yeah, getting mixed up with them Arsenal out here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the Champions League, the Champions League fallout. I reckon. That's why Perisic was playing on the right, which he was terrible out there. Leon would agree.
He looked
Didn't look comfortable at all.
Yeah.
And Romero, I guess, getting dropped as well. For Sanchez, which let's not have that again. This is ridiculous.
Of all the switches to make, let's be honest, that was not the one that was needed.
Straight from the start, look what this guy did. Like, for me personally, I'm done with Emerson, and I'm done with Sanchez. If I'm being honest with you.
Free Spence.
Yeah, free Spence for real. Like, yeah. Leon did mention an interesting one when we was at the game. He did say, possibly, is this Conte?
Is it a power move from Conte?
Yeah. So
why though? Why? Because he played against you last season in the cup. So Conte's seen firsthand what he can do. So it's not like he's just been given this NEU that he's never seen. He's seen what he can do.
And to be honest, Daryl's response, when I said it to him, his response was, in a sense, most of the signings, apart from Perisic, haven't really been given that much game time. Obviously, Richarlison has, because the strikers are always having to do so much work and pressing and everything. So he's always going to make changes up top. But by and large, most of the other guys know what Conte want, and Spence is the least experienced. So, you can understand why he's not necessarily being given a chance yet. But I just don't get, for me, the way I see it, no one has owned the fullback position on either side. No one. And so
for what Conte wants as well, Spence is the perfect player for what Conte wants. So I don't know, maybe he'll get his chance and he'll break in, but Emerson needs to just he needs to sit down, bro.
He can defend. The thing is, he is probably the best at defending out of those guys.
Yeah, but the problem is, he's a fullback.
Going forward,
he's a right back.
He is just terrible.
He's a right back. He's not a wing back. So it's just pointless to keep trying to force it, for me personally.
Did you listen
Yeah,
to the
second.
post-match press conference from Conte? Because we obviously said about selection, and he's basically saying that he's picking a team to win games. You can't play the same team every week, blah 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 blah.
Mm.
And
You
everyone
say
has
that,
to get
but
used to the fact there's going to be rotation. In a word, if you want
how
to
much
win,
rotation
you
was
have to
there
be
there at the
prepared to
start of the
rotate.
season, though? There wasn't much
Not
rotation at the
much.
start of the season. And
But
if
that
you
was only
want,
one. But it was only one game a week at the start of the season.
yeah, but even if you look at rotation from last season to the start of this season, is more or less the same team. And he's talking about rotation. Look how long it took him to drop Son, and maybe if he had dropped him earlier, would have got this response earlier. So look, heads like hands up. Son came on, did his thing, 30-minute hat trick,
I was gonna say because from
proper
the
bangers.
outsider's view, from an outsider, I don't see what's wrong. Like, you're sitting on 17 points, 1 point off the top, level with City, where anyone would want to be at this
Look,
stage of the
we
season.
we we haven't
You're gonna hit
played
your
well.
but you're still winning. That's what
I
That's
matters.
hear
it,
you,
and that's
but look,
You're
that's the
still winning
difference.
games.
you know who we got next year. We got
Yeah, you got
Arsenal
Arsenal
in the
next,
derby.
but
Yeah, so these kind of performances can't be running against Arsenal. The way that they're playing, these kind of performances cannot be running. Simple. So they need to fix up. He needs to make sure he knows what he wants next week from the starting lineup and put the right players in for that. Simple.
I
Because
think
I think your
Basuma has to
target.
start that game. I think Basuma has to
Yeah,
start that
our
game. I think they have to
midfield,
go with three
uh,
in midfield because Arsenal
yeah,
will
our
run wings
midfield
around the two of them.
as much as Højbjerg has done well this season, Bentancur has done well at times this season, got the important goal um, on Saturday. The midfield has been the problem in games because we're just getting outrun in
mm.
midfield. Like it's and we
That's gonna
can't.
happen when you've got two in there though. Until you decide to pay three in there, you're gonna have that issue.
But that's what I'm
Even
saying.
if you've
That's
got
why I think
Basuma in there.
Basuma needs to play as a three,
You see,
not as a two. I think
oh, okay,
Arsenal
I thought man as
away,
a two.
yeah. No. Arsenal away,
Okay, then who
we
do you drop?
what for me,
Who do you go? Yeah, because
bro?
if you're
You
bringing him
go
in, who are
two
you
up
taking
top.
out?
You gotta go to up top.
But
You gotta
Yeah,
Kane
go to,
and Caden who though? Because you look at it, you look at the way Richarlison's makeup of how he plays football. It's
mm.
probably him. He probably starts because Son's better, but you probably need that angry, annoying kind of player that you've got in Richarlison for that kind of game, for that kind of derby. Because
yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't really get himself sent off, but he just riles up the other team very often.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong again with being able to bring on guys that can change a game because effectively what happened against Arsenal last year was they blitzed us. We were 3-0 down
yep,
in no time. They literally destroyed us. So obviously we got our revenge in the home game, but we
Yeah.
can't if we want to challenge for as long as possible, we need to make sure we put our mark on them and at least come out of there without a defeat. To me, you got to come out
yeah.
of Emirates without a defeat. Simple
It's
as that.
it's a it's a top of the table clash. Simple as that. It's a top of the table clash. Um, we're undefeated. They're gonna want to get the first defeat for us this season. So we got to turn up, show ourselves, and like Leon said, like I'm not even saying that we need to win because it's still early days, but like don't don't lose. Set the tone and don't lose. Simple as that for me. Look, is a positive, like you said, six goals. We can't complain. Positive result. Great start for the season. Our best season since the season that we lost out to Conte and his Chelsea team.
18
So
goals scored, seven conceded.
yeah, so we'll take it, but the performances have got to improve, and it needs to start clicking, and it's going to need to start clicking for next weekend because this is a key fixture. So
Arsenal are clicking, so we
yeah,
can move on to them if you want next
yeah,
because
definitely. Yo, hey, straight up, hands up, Arsenal. They look good. If it wasn't for Rayo, it would have been more.
Yeah, Vieira's goal. Out of the bunch, Vieira's goal was a lot, man. And it's
Yeah,
annoying to
Vieira's goal.
see that they've got someone in the team that can actually do that.
Do you know what's funny about that goal is though when he scored the goal, I think he even surprised himself, like because it took a while to celebrate, and I was like, "You scored, bro!" Like, and then he's like,
And
"Yeah," and then he just like it just hit him. But yeah, what a goal! Jesus causing problems.
But I think it's
Scoring-
mad that he's not in the
Scoring
Brazil squad.
headers.
I know he hasn't scored he scored one goal in 3 years for Brazil. But I just would have thought that his start to the season would have given him a call up.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Brazil,
I
you know
mean-
what Brazil are like on their forwards.
Not even just that. The manager is one of those loyal ones. He goes with the guys that have done it for him before.
Mm.
Kind of similar
True.
to Gareth Southgate, and in a way, you have to say that if he continues the form that he's shown so far, I think it will be difficult for them to ignore him. But
For the next
they've
one.
got an embarrassment of riches up top.
Because Gabriel's had a great start, great partnership with Saliba, which I wasn't expecting. I thought they will take a bit more time to gel because they're both so young. But
Yeah, it's working out.
it looks like they could be a dominant centre-back pairing for years the way they've started. It's very early days.
The thing
Well,
is,
they've
They only
they,
had one test so far when United.
yeah,
And you've seen that Arteta's gone from a back three to a back four because he's felt confident in them. And with Ben White playing right back, which is kind of
It's
out of
almost like a
position
back
for
three
him.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They've got three
it can
solid
turn into
guys
free. Yeah, it can turn into free just like that
when they don't have the ball,
transition
or when they
in the
have
game.
the ball. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Ben White playing at right back is
Not by
really,
design.
Nah, it's not by design, but it's working out for them. Saliba's got a good goal, nice header, clearly across the line. I don't know why some people were questioning it. It's way across the line. I suppose it's because we've had games where the goal line technology's failed recently, so
Mad.
everyone's questioning everything. So like I said, Jesus was just causing Brentford problems. Admittedly, I have to say, Brentford were not themselves,
No,
especially
they didn't play a
for a
normal
home
game.
fixture. Nah, so
But was that due to Arsenal?
That's what I was thinking.
Being
Yeah,
too slick at the moment, or is that just because?
Yeah, I think
possibly,
out of possession, obviously, because Brentford were spending a lot of time without the ball, it was hard for them to put their stamp on the game. But even from like being able to create themselves, getting the counter attack, they were ineffective, and that's normally their bread and butter. That is where they do tend to hit teams on the break, and Arsenal they were first to everything. Really, it was.
That's one of the things that scares me for next week as well. The way they were retaining and keeping the ball. And the way we like to sit back sometimes and let teams have the ball. I don't feel like we can do that against Arsenal. The way that they was just using it so nicely. So I'm worried for next week. I ain't gonna lie, I'm worried. And I don't normally say that going to Derby.
Last year with Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah,
if Conte gonna get these that up for it with a passion.
Yeah, we know that.
But how many big games has he flopped in though?
Who?
Conte, for you guys, since he's come, how many big games has he flopped in? That's how you got to look at it. City, done it. Liverpool, done it. I'm pretty sure Chelsea, he had a bit of an iffy one last year. I think
we got
Chelsea
away with the Chelsea result this year, bro. We should have lost.
But
you didn't. But you didn't. That's the mark of building something, and players will start to think, you know what, we got hammered there, but we stuck together and we got through that. So we know that when we go against another team, if we stick together, we'll get through this, and we can still score with those two up front. The guys we've got up front now.
That's what Conte did say. Is he liked to see how we responded in the situation. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game next week. It's gonna be an interesting game. But let's move on to what should we go on to Friday's games for you people that missed out on your fantasy football selections on Friday. We had 2 games.
Yeah, like me, man.
Yeah.
Idiot. Again, bruv. All last season, I made the same mistake as well, just forgetting to make changes on Friday nights, man.
Villa game?
Boring. I chose the wrong game. I watched the Villa game.
What, Southampton? Southampton.
Yeah, and it popped up. Goal. I was like, okay, that goal was right there. Goal. I was like, Am I watching the wrong game here? But I thought, you know what? Let's just
Yeah, you
see.
definitely watched the wrong game. But you know what? Yeah,
In
the whole
honesty,
atmosphere and everything
last
before the
season it was
game
a
at
bad
Villa
game.
Park. Yeah, true.
Mm.
The
It was just
atmosphere and
this year.
everything before the game looked like it was going to be a good game, but it just didn't play out like that. But
Hey, Gerard don't care. He
good,
needed that win, boy.
nah,
He
exactly.
Yeah, he
Good,
needed
did.
that win.
good result for Villa. Good result for Gerrard. And yeah, Southampton once again. We keep talking about it, Jekyll and Hyde, boy. But to be honest, Villa was all over them for most of the game, from what I
Yeah,
saw.
I think they deserve to win. In
Yeah, they
honesty,
deserved to win. And
I'm trying to remember whether Southampton had a shot on target. I'm not sure if they did.
towards the end of the game, they came into it towards the end of the game. And at one
Oh
point,
yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's one shot on target. Look at it,
Yeah.
one shot on target. That's it.
yeah, I was
7
thinking,
shots. Yeah,
I
go on,
was
Daryl.
thinking that Danny Ings was going to regret that open goal miss for a minute, because Southampton towards the end started to pile on that pressure, and I thought, you know what they're like, they're going to just grab that equaliser and nick something out of the game. But Villa held on, and Gerrard rolls on to another week, and I think starting to probably feel a bit safer now, and team's starting to play quite well. Coutinho had started off the game really well as well.
Mm.
So
It's actually weird because you watch Coutinho, you come on and he's so relaxed, he's so chilled when he plays, and then he brings on Bendia, and you can see Bendia running around for his life to try and get that shot. So whether he'll stop that if he thinks, you know what, Coutinho's his man, and I'm not going to get in anyway.
Didn't Gerrard say when he signed him that Bundia's place is not under threat, and they can't see why the two of them can't play together and stuff like that? He said it's not a competition, so I don't know why he's feeling that way if that's the case.
Because he's had to change.
He has to be more solid now, though.
Yeah, he really said it. He said that, listen, I was listening to the post match, and he was saying that maybe he tried to move forward too quickly. Like, the reason why they got good results because they were solid. They didn't let things go, and they picked up results. And then he thought, okay, cool, we've done the solid base now. Let's try and move it forward. And then they fell down. And then your coach leaves. That was what was interesting. He said, we've got a new coach, and now we're playing a different style of football, which tells you that it's not properly his style of football. It's the coach's style of football that he's trying to put through. So now he's got a new coach. They're playing a different way. So now they've got to get used to a new coach's style of football, not his. I mean, it sounds weird.
Does that mean that he's managing the team and really the coach is the one that's doing the hard work? Because there are a couple of Rangers fans that were saying that. There were a couple of Rangers fans were saying that his assistant was the guy that introduced the football and their style of play.
He kind of said it himself.
Well, fair play to him. If Gerrard's being honest, fair play to him. And look, like you said, he's learning.
That's what Fergie did.
He's learning. Yeah, for real, definitely.
Fergie didn't do any of the coaching. He was a manager.
He had Phelan and Malestein and those guys doing a lot of the work for him. So it kind of takes both sides. Look, it didn't work out for Tuchel at Chelsea, trying to be coach and disciplinarian, and you could say that Conte needs to be careful at Tottenham doing the same kind of thing as well. So I suppose Gerrard is the master, but when it comes to the training ground and stuff, he's got his number two to do the work, I guess.
Okay, so let's move on to the more exciting game of that evening. Nottingham Forest, who are probably going to get relegated at this point.
It felt like a championship game.
Who aren't?
It felt like a championship game. Not from a poor quality standpoint, but the excitement. It just seemed it had that championship feel to it. Both teams were the ones that come up, and it was Fulham that ended up pulling out the victory. So
I think they deserve to win it, though. To be honest with you,
Forest are looking in trouble, man. Real trouble.
They missed some chances, though.
But they always create, even against us.
Yeah, it's one of those games. It could have gone anyway, but Fulham just had that bit more quality when they came to
looking at shots on target, possession. They had it, passes. They had it all. So
in Forest,
all stats show that Fulham should have won a game hands down. Looking at the stats now, obviously I only saw highlights of that game, but stats are saying that Fulham were well-deserved winners, which is worrying for Forest because they've bought so many players. I know it's almost like a new manager coming in and then having all these players to try and gel in, which is almost what he has to do now. But it's going to be hard because he's got to know these guys and try and do this all without preseason. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, their kit looks like an international kit on the pitch with no sponsor. And I feel like he's like an international manager. He just got thrown all these players in together, and he's now got to try and make something work. So,
what was it 21 players they signed?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, obviously he said it often that he knew he had so many players on loan last season, and contracts got running out that they wouldn't be able to fill the team if they didn't sign. But it's just it's almost like he's got his hands tied behind his back. The worst thing about it, the funniest thing about it, sorry, is they're actually playing good football in terms of on the ball, but they're just way too open.
Yeah,
but I've said that about many teams that come up trying to play a certain style, and once they don't have the ball, they're in trouble.
Exactly what I was going to say. And how many times have you said that? Like, teams come up trying to play good football in the Premier League, and you can't roll like that and expect to get away with it here.
There's a couple of teams that got away with it. The first season, syndrome, and then second season comes.
Leeds. But as they say in basketball, you got to get stops, and they're not getting anything. They're not getting anything.
That a lot of times it's mistakes. Like if you can be good on the ball, but you're playing against teams that are going to be better at pressing.
Yeah.
So when you make a mistake, the chances are you're gonna pay the price. And in the other division, the lower divisions, you sometimes can get away with those.
You get away, yeah. Cooper said it in his post-match again. He said it's self-inflicted. A lot of the goals they can see are self-inflicted. So
that's true. That's been the story of that season.
Yeah, the header, was it Tosin? What's his name? The Fulham centre back.
Oh, Tosin.
Yeah. The
I think it is.
Bro, how free do you want him to be?
Yeah.
It's true.
You can't defend like that. You can't defend like that and expect to not concede goals. So it's going to be tough for them.
And even the Reed goals, like who's tracking back? He's picking up. He's strolled into the box wide open. Nice finish as well. Like on the half volley. Yeah. So.
It's 3 goals. It's 3 goals in 6 minutes as well. That's what must really frustrate them. 54, 57, 60, game done. I mean, come on, man.
It happened against Bournemouth as well, didn't it? They were 2-0 up against Bournemouth, weren't they?
Yeah.
There's only 1-0 up in this game though. So
yeah, I know, but
not as bad.
Not good for them.
They're gonna have to learn. Otherwise, like James said, he's committing them to the scrap heap and relegation already. But
I can't see a worse team. Okay, Leicester maybe actually tell a lie. Leicester right now are looking worse.
I'd like to see Forest stay up.
Leicester, where I think we can talk about Leicester in a bit, but I think if the Forest manager isn't under pressure to keep them up, then I think this season is going to be a learning curve more than.
Yeah, I don't think he will be. I think he's got a lot of credit in the bank from literally bringing them from relegation to get into the Premier League. That they'll be silly to get rid of him, because I actually think he's one of those guys that if he gets sacked, he'll get another Premier League club. I think he's one of the young British managers that clubs will be looking at.
We'll see.
But moving on to the first game of Saturday morning, and Man City. Man City winning.
Game done after like 1 minute.
Man, you watch it, you think, one, how you can see so quickly, and then 2, Collins, what are you thinking? You look at that red card and you think, what were you actually trying to do? I mean, you weren't trying to kick the ball out. You weren't trying to body check him. You just flag kicked the guy, like your name is De Jong in the Champions League final, in the Euros final, or World Cup final, whichever one it was, that Howard Webb refed. It was just stupid.
Yeah. Do you know what though? Wolves actually played a lot better after they went down to 10 men, which is crazy. But
it's true, because you look at it, they were. I'm looking at the stats again now. Usually Man City would have had like 800 passes. Wolves were only 200 parts. It sounds silly, but it's true. Well, they had 622 passes. Wolves had 422 with 10 men. There's teams that have 11 men that don't get 420 passes against City.
Yeah.
So they lost
But
3-0, but there's credit.
yeah, he cost
to them.
he's cost his team with that one. Although at the time it was 2-0. Let's be honest, it was 2-0.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it
you know,
was.
but like, yeah, Haaland scores again, and he looked rather disappointed at the end as well.
Bruv,
He
he
only
wanted
got one.
more. He wanted
Yeah.
more. And then
Yeah.
he probably should have got more had certain passes have been earlier. And that's still, you know, for them to find their
Yes.
feet. They know
Yeah, that's
that they need to feed in the ball earlier, but
it's gonna be scary once they work that one.
Let's hope they don't work it out, innit? Let's just hope something happens and he still continues making the same runs and they're not seeing it. Because then other teams can catch up, i.e. Liverpool, somehow. You guys are already there, so you got nothing to worry about. He scored with his right foot as well, which was even more annoying.
You blaming the goalkeeper? Good finish. Goalkeeper was blinded. What are you saying about that?
I don't think he's expecting him to shoot with his right foot. So
he's not.
Was a bit late getting down,
and
also
as well.
Even though
scuffed.
he scuffed it, but he scuffed it with power and it bounced. So it was an awkward one. It wasn't a clean strike and it just bounced in. So
he's just showing off, man. Just showing what he can do, like left foot, right foot, the header, karate kicks.
But that's what you got to do. It makes
defenders them all in it.
Yeah, it makes defenders not know whether to. You think, if I put him with his right foot, he ain't gonna do nothing, and now he's scoring them with his right foot outside the box. Like, what else can you do?
The midfield had a good game for City. De Bruyne played very well. Foden played well. Grealish played well.
Yeah, after
Silva played well. It's like wow, like the fact that Grealish got in there for that goal, like I know he wasn't ahead of Haaland, but the fact that he was in there, like tucking it away,
because that's where Sterling would have been. If you think of previous years, Sterling gets a goal in that position. So now you're asking Grealish, you cost us 100 million, but what are you going to provide? So you got to give us some of the goals that obviously Haaland's going to give most of those goals, but you got to provide goals and assists for us.
Pep called him out.
Grealish was honest with himself, though.
The interview after the game was very honest. And he even joked saying, like, you know, come on, KDB, you're supposed to be the best assist man in the world. So where's my assist? You know what I mean? So he's very honest.
Passing on the back though.
Yeah.
Well, the way City play, you're not really allowed to flipping take on a player and score yourself.
Yeah, you're not. Keep that ball moving.
You trust me,
mate. But what was interesting is the goals were almost identical. It's like they've worked on it. On the right wing, you hold up the ball, he's going to run around, he's going to cross it in. Pretty sure 2 goals just like that.
It's simple. And then obviously they didn't have Walker playing, but they still have Cancelo on the left-hand side, so they get those kind of distribution from wide areas. It's just like they've got an embarrassment of riches. And there's certain guys. Calvin Phillips is injured, but he can't even get in the team right now.
Got into the England squad though. Got into the England squad.
But I think he's pulled out
because of injury.
Shoulder surgery, I think, or something like that.
Do you know what the goals, like you said, Leon, is what they've been working. Do you know, it reminded me of it. I don't know if you've seen that footage of Gundogan taking training with
what do you mean,
the
taking
youngsters.
training? Is it?
Yeah. He's doing his coaching already, Gundogan.
Go on.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't playing, bro. He ain't playing.
I'll find it.
And it reminds me of that. The same kind of keep spraying it, keep building it until you create an overload over one side and then deliver. And, you know, if you're the winger at the back post, you've got to get in there. It's very much a Pep style of play. So, yeah, now they've just got that centre forward in there that's going to cause the defenders problems and is going to make the rest of the midfield. Admittedly, Wolves had 10 men, so the midfield are always going to have a good day, really, against 10 men. But
especially one of that quality.
Yeah, like everyone's saying, like, is anyone even going to challenge City this season if they carry on playing that how they do?
or let's see what
Well,
happens.
hope we do. Hope we do.
Well,
So,
James is still hopeful. He's still talking about the 2-horse race.
listen, you guys are in it right now, so I'll
Oh,
hold on.
well, hey, bookmark that.
You're level on point to them until you guys fully falter. Then there's nothing anyone else can say. Arsenal and Tottenham are in a title race right now.
Hey, Leon, bookmark that. Arsenal fans, bookmark that. James finally admitted, boy. Wow. Okay.
It's too
Okay,
early,
James.
bro.
We'll see where we are in February. We'll see where we are in February because that's when you really see what title race is saying.
Yeah, exactly.
But right now, you can't say anything.
We was top under
your job.
Look how that ended.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
All right, on to Newcastle, Bournemouth. Newcastle still
They're struggling, you know.
It's weird, bro. They've only won one game. I didn't actually realise that at first.
Well, I know when the commentator said it, that I actually clocked that they actually have only won one game this season. I couldn't believe it.
But they grabbed
one
that
game
one
or two games.
from
They beat Forest.
I think it's
they
one.
not won another game.
No, I don't think so.
That's mad.
They've drawn all the. I think they've lost one and drawn the rest.
They lost to
but
you.
they didn't lose though. They didn't lose that this weekend though.
Which is good.
They were the better team.
Home games, man. They need to win the home games.
Yeah, they were the better team. And Bournemouth looked like they were going to smash and grab it. And again, penalty, VAR, handball. What's your opinion, guys?
Boy, I would be upset if I got given handball for that. I'm not gonna lie, because your hand wasn't in an unnatural position. It wasn't out. It wasn't away from your body. But I can understand the reason why it was given, only because you stopped the cross from going into the box. So you stopped a potential goal scoring opportunity. But it's very harsh. But we've seen them, and that's why you can't say that it's an isolated incident, because we've seen it being given many times. We saw it when United played PSG and it hit Kimpembe's back. We've seen it with other situations in the Premier League as well. It's very difficult for a defender to be able to defend situations if their hands are not in an unnatural position. I don't see how you can give a pen, but boy, I'm sure over the course of the season you'll go, it swings and roundabouts, but it doesn't always.
Yeah,
it really doesn't. Those decisions are usually favor either the bigger team or the home team. So I think Newcastle got lucky with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, like I said, they didn't lose from that position.
Isaac scores again, which is always good for them. With their main man Wilson out injured. It's going to be interesting to see what they do when they have him and Wilson, whether he'll try to go with both of them. Because
that'd be interesting. That would.
Isaac is.
They can work though. They're different style of forwards.
But then he has to change. But then it's whether he changes his system. I think he had it at Bournemouth with two up top for a little while.
He's playing 4 at the back at the moment though, so it could work.
It can work, yeah.
It's just who he has in midfield. That's going to be the key. Because in certain games, you can't have two, as we found out. We can't have just two men in the centre midfield. It literally just depends on what type of game they're playing. If they're playing someone like Bournemouth, playing 2 probably would have been a good idea. Even playing Forest, probably playing 2 would be a good idea. But in the bigger games, no way.
Well, I'm happy.
They're 1 point.
Go on.
Yeah, go ahead. I said they're on the same points as Bournemouth. So we're saying playing someone like Bournemouth, they're on the same points right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I'm happy.
They would say that's a game that they would want to be winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the start of the season, I'm sure they had more loftier heights in
than
their
5
vision.
draws.
So, and let's be honest, the way they finished last season was all a bit, Newcastle might be a little bit of a challenge, but glad, hopefully it stays that way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't want them. I don't want them entering the European battle.
Not with their money that they've got in their coffers, boy.
The good thing is they're trying to play it smart at the moment. I'm sure it won't be long before they start pulling out.
Well, I thought they were trying to play it smart, and then they pulled Isaac out of the bag. So, boy, yeah.
Well, no big teams are really going for him, so why not?
I guess so. So on to the final match.
Everton.
Final match of the weekend. Everton West Ham was for me ball fest.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't a great game, to be fair.
Nah. West Ham had a bag of chances. Didn't
They
Good
take
finish.
Go in the
I'm
league.
okay.
Surprise. Yeah.
It was.
You know what? It goes to show Everton needed a goal scorer, and as much as he gets
He's hit and
goals.
miss.
Yeah,
He's
he's
hit
not
and miss though,
prolific,
isn't he?
but he gets goals. But he got a key goal there, and those kind of goals in those situations can be key to Everton this
Yeah.
season, boy.
I think the most important thing for Everton is, I think I was saying to you, Leon, yesterday, he signed 2 quality Premier League centre backs for free.
Mate,
Cody
that's changed though.
and Tarkovsky.
Changed the game.
I mean, Cody is on loan. Have you ever seen a lone centre back, a lone player?
Yeah, no.
Have you ever seen a lone player be a captain of the club? He's on loan and he's captain. That's
And he's a Liverpool fan,
True.
a proper Liverpool fan
Yeah,
as well.
he's a Liverpool fan.
In the dance.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't quite sure when he scored. When he scored against us in the derby, he went mad, bro. I said,
Wow.
"Are you really Liverpool?"
Oh,
fan,
you
yeah?
got.
It'll be his first goal for his club, whatever.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Bro, you got.
Your card is marked, bro.
You got to show.
Your
You got to show the passion for who's paying for your bills, bro. Exactly. Show the passion for who's paying your bills, bro.
Exactly. No one's gonna care about the fact that he supports Liverpool, apart from Everton fans. He has to show them that he is about Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got blues in his family,
those fans
sure,
will turn against. Those fans will turn against you quick, boy. Quick.
But you're right though.
You got to give credit to.
You're gonna start keeping clean sheets, bro.
Yeah.
Has been really poor for Everton, considering how much money they spent on him. They had Yuri Mina as well. He's hit and miss. There's some games he looks good, but he's likely to take a risk because he thinks he's good on the ball, but he doesn't concentrate sometimes. So,
but it's allowed them to play 4 at the back, which gives them more license up front. And Patterson is. I knew he was good from Rangers days, and obviously he came in January, got injured, just as Lampard wanted to start using him, but he's now actually really stepping up. Because Coleman, let's be honest, Coleman was done last season. Everton have done what we should be doing with Milner right now.
Put him out the pasty, yeah.
Exactly, bro. Thank you. You've done a nice job. Still around for the change room and for everything else to show these young cats what it's like to be professional. But now, man, Patterson's done well. Mikalenko has finally found his feet as well. The back 4 looks decent. I'll be honest. The first win of the season, so it's not too much to write home about.
It's a key window.
Yeah, man.
At home, against a team that's in Europe, and I'm sure that's where Frank wants to be. Is a good result for them. So if they can build off of this, you never know. Like they can stay up.
Since he's been there, though, one thing you have to say is the players have showed fight, regardless of some of the results. They showed fight for Lampard, and so you can tell that he's able to get a response from the players. And
it kind of feels like Derby, doesn't it? The youngsters show fight, that kind of philosophy. I
guess he's got players that remember who he was in it as a player.
Yeah,
so he can say, "Listen, this is what I gave to the game." And if you give half as much, then we can stave away relegation and start to climb up the table after a few years. And like I said, bringing in leaders like Tarkovsky and Cody are captain material, both of them. So you got 2 leaders at the back. Onana's come in. Like, seriously, another good centre midfielder that's coming to the league. And they bring back Gay. That's a solid. Those 4 in the middle of your team. That's solid, bruv.
Considering where they was at before the transfer window closed, he's done clever work, I have to say.
Yeah.
Would you say there's a risk of him, if Everton don't do well, of being sacked?
There's always a risk. There's always a risk of him getting sacked.
Do you think they ride out with him even all the way down into the Championship if they did get? No.
Well, the thing is, they rode out with him last year, and he kept them up. I think the only thing that doesn't work in his favour is that Everton have never been relegated. Like they're one of the only teams. I think Arsenal or the other
That's
teams.
true,
They've
yeah.
never been relegated. So
That's true.
no owner, Lampard himself doesn't want to be associated with being the first management / ownership to have brought Everton down. So that's the only thing that might not work in his favour. But I think they'll go with him as long as they can, for as long as they're in the fight to stave off relegation. If they're rock bottom like Leicester are right now, then maybe not. So, but I think if he's in touching distance of being safe, I don't think they'll get rid of him.
But as long as Gerrard outlasts him to prove that he's still better than him in everything, that's all I care about. Bun Frank Lampard. Anyway.
The last thing, we never actually spoke. I just realised we never
There we
spoke about
go.
Leicester at all. No, we never.
There we
No, we never spoke about Leicester. We never spoke about Leicester. We spoke about Tottenham, and that was it. We never spoke anything about Leicester.
Yeah, we knew James. Me and Leon knew that he's going to come back to Brendan, bro.
No, I'm just saying, is he gone?
I don't think
Leon
so.
asked me this question. I said no. I don't think he is.
I don't think he's gone. Do you want him
He's
gone,
not
James?
gone, but I think he's on borrowed time at the moment.
He's teetering. I think
He's on borrowed time. I think the problem is he, as you know, James, is when he falls out with a player, they seem to be just out of the squad.
Yeah, the side's gone.
Yeah, that's
Where is Sancho? Where is Sancho?
I don't know what's going on at the back, but the only reason why we won that game was because they were so poor at the back. So poor.
Defensively, yeah.
Because they were in it until Son came on. Until Son came on, they were in the game.
Well, like I was Leon, I was saying like this. Like, even when we saw the lineup, I said to Leon, like, don't take this Leicester team for jokers because they got real players in there, and Madison had a good game. Madison had a good game, and
his finish, bruv, his finish.
Oh, the finish was
beautiful.
Lovely.
His finish, though,
lovely. But it did get a deflection anyway. But still, but their midfield was doing their stuff. So, like Leon said that I said, I think from what I asked Leon, do you think that Leicester have shown enough in this game, even though they lost 6-2, to say that they're going to be all right and turn around? And Leon was confident. I said, yeah, they're going to turn it around.
Not everyone's going to have a son that feels slighted coming off the bench to save a game for them. And
they need to look after the ball better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Defensively, defensively, that's the problem. Like set pieces, how many set pieces? Like, admittedly, yeah, like as long as Perisic is taking our set pieces,
and we've had a coach for it as well.
Hey, Leon, I hope you've been on his appreciation Twitter page and represented, because there's an appreciation page for him on Twitter saying like, yeah, made a difference.
Made a huge difference.
But set pieces has been their problem all season, and like one of the worst
last season.
Last season as well.
James, you touched on it. Leadership.
Yeah, you lose Schmeichel, that's massive.
But didn't I say that to you, Leon? I said that to you on the match. I said that to Leon at the match. I said, don't you like Casper is a big loss,
But you said that you thought he wanted the new challenge. I don't know who.
I think he did.
Who forced it?
I don't know.
Was it?
I don't think they wanted to give him his a final contract to stay at the club. That long final term contract, and he said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go get a new challenge."
I heard someone say Brendan always thought he had two number one goalkeepers in Ward and Schmeichel.
Well, Ward
is clearly proven not to be the case.
Ward is Wales' number one. That's about it, bro.
I'll be honest. Ward is a decent goalkeeper. Yeah, he is. Hennessy's now finally number two.
Okay, I didn't even realize. He looked really poor though.
Yeah. He's a decent goalkeeper, but it's the game time. I think all the years he's been number twos, he's never got a chance to actually get the game time, and now he's getting game time.
To be a number one.
Yeah, but he's now getting game time behind a failing defense.
Yeah,
the defense changes every game, and that's hard for a goalkeeper that's coming in and trying to stamp his authority into a team when your defense is changing all the time. So it should stay now. Now they've got Feist and Evans often gets injured, so you never know with him. But at least they should have a stable back too. and then the fullbacks around it can change. So they've got that triangle, and you never know. Like I said, they were in it enough to prove to themselves if we play a team of lesser quality than Tottenham, then maybe we can get something out of it. I don't think he'll get sacked.
No, I don't think he'll get sacked as well. I talk about Evans. Leon was calling for Evans to be exploited in that first half, boy.
He reads the game well, but I know that the pace we have, he is not going to be able to deal with that. And that's effectively what happened, because when NDD got depossessed by
that was a hospital pass though, man.
Yeah.
Bro, the whole defense was open like the Red Sea, bro. It was mad.
I don't think any of them expected them to shoot. That's why.
He had the option though, bro.
Even I was like, okay, who's he going to pass this to? Oh, okay, finish. Yeah.
But have you not seen how he passes, bro? The way the pace he puts on the pass, so it was like a pass. That's what it was, and he knew it. He just passed it into the corner.
Yeah.
But so you guys worried about Arsenal really, or have you calmed down now? Now we've got into the show and locked 3 other games. Are you still worried?
I'm still nervous if we turn up on this one half team. Like we only perform in one half. Like we need to. You can't do that in the North London derby. You better be up and about it for the whole 9 minutes. And if anyone can get us passionately ready for that game, it's going to be Conte. As long as we keep our heads, again, as long as he chooses the right selection, that's going to be key, really.
Prediction: win or draw or loss. Just keep it simple. Win, draw, or loss.
Yeah, draw. I'm not never saying we're going to lose the North London derby. You're mad.
Cool. Lee?
Draw.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw probably.
Okay, we've got.
What about you, James? What do you think?
We've got Brighton. You guys.
Neutral.
You guys. I prefer a Spurs win, but I can see a draw.
Well,
I can see a draw.
That. You reckon it'd really be 1-1, Leon? Like with all the firepower in both teams.
I can't see it 1-1. I can see it being like a 2-2.
Yeah, I can't see 1-1.
Nah, I mean
2-2. I'm more leaning to 2-2.
Yeah, I'd agree. It'd be like I have a feeling. I'm seeing another Chelsea performance by us.
That's not a good thing, mate.
I know.
Wait, so you get the point.
Chelsea at the moment.
As long as you don't have Sanchez playing, then you're calm.
I don't want Emerson in there either, if I'm honest with you. But boy,
Emerson will play because
Emerson's going to play, bro.
Because Martinelli. He's going to have to rip up Martinelli, innit?
Yeah. I'll get you. But what a great game it would be to free Spence.
Yeah, boy.
It would be a great game because he destroyed Arsenal.
He knows how to deal with Martinelli.
He destroyed Arsenal, exactly. So, boy.
There's no way Conte is playing him, bro. No way.
Free Spence for the North London derby.
There'll need to be injuries to literally our whole right side, every option, including Kulusevski, because he flipping played him at the right wing back at some stage as well. So, I can't see it.
But we'll see. What about you, James? What are you feeling for your game?
If they still had Potter, I'd have been more worried. But they're going to have De Zerbi. He's going to have 2 weeks, not with all of them, because they've got a lot of internationals now.
What do you think of that as a manager?
It's a smart one. It's a smart one because he's proven at Sassuolo and at Shakhtar that
Sassuolo, he played good football at Sassuolo. So I can see how it fits.
He's flexible as a manager, like Potter was.
Mm.
So, but it's his first game. You often get a first game new manager bounce, but we've got Thiago back, we've got Jota back, and Matip. Listen,
Jota looked good in Champions League though.
Gomez has been given an unfair rap so far this season because everyone has been on his case. When Man United game, he came in the second half. Nothing wrong in the second half. Everton game, he was our best defender in Everton game. And then in the Napoli game, it was a horror show. But what they've said is he's been terrible all season, which is completely incorrect. He had a really bad 20 minutes against Napoli. The rest of his games have been cool. So I feel sorry for him that he's been dropped out, but we got to win. Matip has come in.
But that's not your first choice partnership anyway, though. It would be Matip and Van Dijk.
For me personally, I want to see Gomez back in because he's got the pace. But what Matip brings,
so you're basing that on pace over what Matip does in the game.
No, I'm basing it on what we did when we won a league. How good they were together. How good Gomez and
but Gomez
were together.
Gomez only came in because of injury, though.
Yeah, but then he stayed in and he earned his. He earned his spot.
Matip was never fully fit back after that, though.
Bruv, there were times when Matip could have come back in, but Gomez at that point in time, it looked like he was going to be the main man next alongside him. But Matip has proved over the last year and a bit that he's actually played at a higher level at times. No, he's not that he's a better defender, but he's played equal to or higher than Van Dijk has since his injury.
I was about to say that. There's been times where he's actually better than Van Dijk this season.
I've got no problem with him staying there now and Gomez having to find another way back in because the way he brings the ball forward gives us another dimension. Teams don't know what to do. And he can even 1-2 and go through and score like he did last season where he throws a through ball. So I think we'll win the game. I always do think we're going to win the game. But with the added, them having a new manager, a lot of the players are going to be on international duty before the game comes around. He's not really going to have a chance to get them ready for a game.
Yeah, so, I looked at that game and I thought, you know what, if ever Liverpool needed a game to come back to the Premier League with, that was a nice one for you. New manager, not much time for him to get the squad rolling. So yeah, I can't see anything but Liverpool winning that as well at home. So
I do wish we played Chelsea though, because
again, I don't know.
Put a newbie there. When we play them next, when the game comes around, they'll be more in tune with what Potter wants.
Potter's had a little mini pre-season with them though. When you think about it,
that's what I'm saying. But we would have played them this week, so I wish we had played them because he wouldn't have had a chance to do anything yet. But now, when we play them, they're going to be more in tune with what he wants. So it's a bit annoying in that regard. But that's just me being selfish. But I can be.
As you always are.
Yeah, when it comes to football, listen, don't tarnish my name, bro.
When it comes to midfielders, he wants them all. It's like Pokemon. I've got to catch them all. I've got to catch all the midfielders. All the Brazilian skillful midfielders. I want them all.
Everyone knows we need him. Even João Gomez, let him come. I don't know how good he is, but let him come. 5 million. What is that? What's that? That's chump change.
It really is. It really is.
All right, guys. It's been good.
Indeed.
Got a break, obviously international. So hopefully we'll put something out that won't be game related, but it should be something for you guys to actually enjoy. But other than that, see you guys soon. Peace.
All right.
Later.